always get after every election.
Stella, is there a possibility that Kenyans know exactly what it is they're doing, even electing that madman? Why do I say that? Because Kenyans know what is right and what is wrong. Because assuming a population where M-Pesa is a big thing, everybody with their PIN, no one ever keys in the wrong PIN. That means everybody knows what is wrong and what is right. Kenyans are the very same people who will turn up and say, when an individual is corrupt going through the judicial system, huyo ni mtu wetu, and being targeted, forgetting that it is your money that has been stolen. Mm-hmm. So then, if that is where we find ourselves as a country, how do we, as individuals seated here, change that conversation to make sense that if it's 12 billion that was lost, individuals who died in hospital died because 12 billion was stolen. So you do not need to vote this person. Perhaps you need to push authorities for this person to be jailed, because we're not having those conversations.
I would say that Kenyans actually know what they are doing and what they are voting for. Mm-hmm. But when I say they know what they're doing and what they're voting for, it is based on the information that they have available. And I'm glad I found my colleague talking about informed voter. You know, one of the factors I've had to interact with in the last couple of days is a reality of the arrangements that are happening and alignments that are happening in our politics. And I suspect that one of the groups that will be the most disappointed when the chips fall where they should will be Gen Z, because I think they're the most hopeful for change. Absolutely. Most hopeful for change. And when they discover the kind of games and trickery that our politicians are playing right now, they will be extremely disappointed. And I suspect it is in the best interests of our current president that Gen Z gets so disillusioned that they don't show up to vote. If they have information that their savior is Dennis, and I'm speaking very cryptically, and they make a decision that they're all going to follow Dennis and they're all going to support Dennis, they're using their money sometimes they're being supported to support him, and then eventually they get to the ballot and they find that Dennis was a trickster. Dennis had no intention of being on the ballot, for example, and therefore Dennis is not there to save them as he had promised. You know, one of the things that they're going to decide is that this country is irredeemable, and they'll go back to where they used to be. And there was a time they didn't care about the elections in this nation. So I'm basically saying that if we can actually take time to get even deeper into the information about who they are voting for, and maybe begin telling the truth about who's serious about being on the ballot and who's playing a game on behalf of somebody on our ballot. Today, I'm going to keep it cryptic because of some moving parts and some decisions that are currently being made. But the truth is, if you follow the money, you will know who's serious about this election. You will know who's playing games. You will know who's dancing on stage, but they are on a different arena and they are not with you in this conversation. A reminder also to all the voters, not just Gen Z. This also applies to women, because I have worked with women supporting elections, women mobilizers. They are the kingmakers, and majority of them sometimes believe in supporting an individual because they say, sisi huyo ndo tunamfeel, tunamwamini. Sometimes they say things like ni mtrue. But what is mtrue, you know? Does Mtrue deliver the services that you need at the end of the day? We have the kind of governor we have in Nairobi because he has dimples. Those dimples we are paying dearly for. Are we able to just raise the bar a little and start having conversations about the right things? Save for dimples, what else can this person do? Do they have a track record for delivery? Are they the kind of person who care about life? Are they the kind of person who will allow themselves to serve this nation in a way that then will transform our country? Have they stolen anything from anybody? We made a huge mistake electing a man for president who has been accused of corruption, has been accused even of participating in the post-election violence. Not just participating, but, you know, as a key mobilizer for the post-election violence. A man who seems really not to care about our social democracy and is a capitalist par excellence. So for him, it is benefit, profit for him and his cronies before Kenyans. So we should not be surprised that we got what we got out of this election. And for this reason, we must ask ourselves, what leadership philosophy do these people carry? What does Rigiji believe in as a leadership philosophy? What does the emeritus, former CJ Maraga believe in as a philosophy for leadership. If you are planning to have Babu Owino as your governor, what philosophy does he believe in? You know, and when you say Mimi Sifuna, behind Mimi Sifuna, what is the philosophy of leadership that is coming up with? Has he thought about one, or he hasn't even had time to do so because of the kind of pressure that he's gathered along the way as tides were changing for him? If we don't ask those questions, we will find people in power who are either going to come and continue the capitalism that this gentleman is exercising in this country, are going to continue the looting that is continuing in this nation, and are also going to be very responsible about answering to Kenyans because they don't care. They don't care. They don't have a philosophy. They don't account to you. And so they can tell you, if you hear that there are goons in one place, don't go. Because they are capable of aiding and abetting crime as long as it's serving their purposes. My message today is that Kenyans need to stop looking at things on the surface. Number 2, stop watching the news and concluding based on what is on the news who you're going to vote for. Can you take time to research about your leader? Find out what this person has done. Find out what they have not done.
Yeah.
And then after you do that, also take time to decide if you truly, in the words of Ndo, feel right about this person. Because we normally have caution. We normally say this one, we are king here.
You know.
So check that feeling. And if you feel it once, don't doubt your conscience. That person is not supposed to be a leader in this nation.